It began as cheese and grew to be legends, and has become at long last the most advanced production car on the planet.
Hey everybody, we've got such a special video for you today because we have two Corvettes, 4th generation Corvettes, the C4, a standard L98 equipped C4, and the legendary ZR1. And in this video, we're gonna find out what is the performance difference between the two. But even better than that, we're gonna see how does a ZR1 of the 4th generation compare to a standard C5 Corvette. All that is coming up right now. In Case, how are we gonna do it?
To test these cars, we are going to do a 1/4 mile drag race. We're going to do a rolling race from 30 miles per hour. We're going to do a braking test, and then we'll see how the ZR1 stacks up against the C5 in another 1/4 mile drag race.
New Chevrolet Corvette like never before. A Corvette superb in its engineering and technology and defiant in its performance.
So everybody, I want to introduce you to my buddy Jordan, who is in the car next to me. He was kind enough to bring out his ZR1. And Jordan, tell me what you've got going on under the hood there.
So this is a 90 ZR1 with a LT5. That's a Lotus designed, Mercury Marine built, 375 horse, all aluminum V8.
Although I know you've got a couple fun things going on under the hood there, so it's not just making 375 to the crank, right?
Sure don't. It's totally stock, 100%. No, just kidding.
It's got headers and exhaust, and then it's got top end porting, which is a real common mod on these. Brings it up to about 375, 380 at the wheel, so somewhere 420 maybe at the crank.
Well, that's a little terrifying for me because according to this plaque over my cup holders, I'm at 245 horsepower and 340 pound-feet of torque, and of course, that's at the crank, and that was in 1988 when my car was made. But the cool thing is that even though my car's an 88 and yours is a 90, this engine would have been produced at the same time as that LT5. So we're actually going to see how a base Corvette of that same era would stack up against the big bad ZR1.
Yeah, that's right. I'm excited to see how they do. Obviously the L98 is a very potent engine, but the LT5 was designed to be that next step. So we'll see how it goes.
Let's do it.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and then I'll drop my hand, give her help. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, wheel spin. We're actually pretty neck and neck off the line. Oh, but he pulled right away. Oh my God. So the torque is not that different on these two cars. It's got maybe another 40 pound-feet of torque, I guess, from the factory. But he pulled right ahead once he got into his top end. That was awesome. And I ran a 16.03, so I've got fresh tires on this car at 89 miles per hour. And with those fresh tires, that is the best time I've ever run in this, but nothing like the ZR1.
Let's see here, that was a 14.5 at 109 miles an hour.
The top end power from that ZR1 is incredible. Off the line, we were pretty similar because the torque from these shouldn't be that different, but you have so much more horsepower.
Yeah, I was really impressed. Off the line, we were neck and neck. In fact, you might have had me a little bit with the traction. But I'm pretty happy with 109 at this elevation. I'd say, pretty good mile per hour there.
Big time. Well, let's line up and do us a 30 roll, see how that goes.
Corvette with never before available unidirectional turbine fin wheels and tires individually engineered for all 4 corners.
What gear do you want to use, if you care?
So my car is a 4-speed. It's the weird old Doug Nash 4+3, and of course your car has a ZF 6-speed. So I think we're probably gonna start in different gears would be my guess. I usually either start at the top of second or the bottom of third. Honestly, doing a 30 roll in this car is kind of an awkward spot because I'm nearly at the point where I should be shifting out of second. But if I start at the bottom of third, nothing happens for a good while until I get up in RPM. So up to you in your car.
All right, I could actually do first, but I'll do second because I'm trying not to have wheel spin.
That sounds good to me. So we'll go ahead and get rolling, and then once we're nose to nose going 30 miles per hour, I'll do a little count, 3, 2, 1, go, and we'll hit it. Into his top end, there's no chance. Man, it's funny to see right off the crack, my car has the torque to stay with you for just a second, and then your top end, that car flies.
Yeah, the top end is very strong for sure.
I am selling one of my all-time favorite cars, my fully electric Mini Cooper SC, and it's up for auction right now over at TFL Bids. I think one of you are going to get a screaming deal on this fully electric Mini, and we're also selling this super rad classic Bronco. Check out all that and more over at tflbids.com. That ZR1 was such a special car when it launched in 1990. It beat just about every sports car on the market, not only in terms of 0 to 60 quarter mile, but top speed and even around a handling circuit. It was an absolute beast, but you paid for it. That was roughly twice the cost of Case's car, coming in at about $60K starting versus the base Corvette, which was $30,000. But it's such a cool thing to be out here and being able to experience these two, nearly apples to apples cars racing out here in Colorado. It's just so special.
Feel the performance of the world's first computer-activated manual transmission.
So Jordan, what we'll do next is we'll do a little bit of a braking test, and I actually know that your brakes are not factory, right?
That is correct. So I've upgraded, I put C6 brakes on the front of this. A lot of that was just for pad availability. The ZR1s came with a J55 package, which was a really nice heavy-duty brake setup, but these probably don't stop any faster, but I am able to get maybe a little bit more, heat absorption or heat dissipation, I should say.
And of course, a lot of braking tests comes down to your tires and the weight of your vehicle. So being that my car has brand new tires, and I went through my brakes recently, they're not C5 brakes, but they are fresh at least and well bled. We'll see. This test I have more confidence in than the drag race, at least.
Right on, you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, up to 60 miles per hour. All right, 50, and there's 60. All right, coming up on the cones here. Wow, pretty even.
Beautiful.
Stick of truth.
All right, Case, so you were real proud of your new wheels and tires, and look at that, 104
Wow,
feet.
that's really good. So
That's modern car good right there.
yeah, I wasn't sure how I did because the ZR1 is definitely, it stopped a little sooner than I did, but 104 feet is easily the best I think that I've done in this car.
That's pretty awesome. All right, let's go see how the ZR1 did. Well, it's about 1.5 foot different. So that's a pretty pretty good result there for the C4 and the ZR1. But I think the big takeaway here is, right, a modern car with all of its safety tech and the added weight would struggle to stop in that distance, excuse me. That's how quick these cars decelerate.
With crystal displays, 14 separate instrument readouts, English or metric, all updated 16 times every operating second.
All right, my dude. So thank you once again for coming out. You made a 3-hour drive to be here, so let's give Jordan a big round of applause in the comments. But I want to talk to you about the ownership experience in that car, because you have over 150,000 miles on it, and ZR1s have a little bit of a reputation as being not as robust as a standard car. But how has that thing been in terms of reliability?
Well, the time I've had it, it's been trouble-free. Really haven't had any issues. Runs great, drives great. You know, little maintenance stuff, but nothing major.
Yeah, I mean, that is such a special car, right? And nowadays, they're really starting to appreciate in value as well. So if you can get your hands on one, definitely would recommend that. But I want to ask you a couple of things about that car. So that car originally had a switch to derate the car down to like 210 or 250 horsepower. Is that switch still functional?
Not on this car. So they called it the valet switch. I thought it was a little more than that, but regardless, yes, it was, you know, normal mode would put out this lower horsepower rating for your valet or your kids. This car, it's more of just a visual kind of cool thing, but it's been kind of modified to remove that functionality.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so that's a pretty common thing that ZR1 folks do.
It is, yeah. I mean, you can maybe get a little more power removing the butterflies out of the intake.
So this is a 99 C5, the next generation Corvette, base Corvette, LS1 engine, which of course, well, is a legendary power plant, but only 345 horsepower, although pretty different power delivery than what you get in that C4. Automatic transmission, but we're gonna see which is quicker, base C5 or the top dog C4. I think. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
A little bit of wheel spin, but pretty good launch. Neck and neck off the launch. And there goes the horsepower difference. And that ZR1, even as this LS gets into 4,500 RPM, 5,000 RPM, 5,500 RPM, he's still blowing away. That's how much power that Corvette made. That is unbelievable. The way that LT5 delivers its power is just incredible, dude. It just pulls and pulls and pulls.
Yes, it really pulls in the top end there. God, if we could hook up out here.
Yeah, one thing I know the comments are going to say, well, you got to warm up your tires. Unfortunately, the airfield folks don't let us do that. But let's see what I ran there. Memory. That was a 15.3 at 99, so that is a significant difference between the C4 and the C5. And I know all the comps are gonna be like, that car went to 12 easy. We're up here to my level sea level. These Solos are GPS performance testers. They're a little bit of a heartbreaker, but we're still talking like a second difference, C5 to C4 ZR1. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that one here was 14.38 at 108 miles an hour. A little better on the time on that one, but still just struggling for traction.
List item right there, Tommy, to race a ZR1.
Yeah, I mean, even though we were losing constantly, just hearing that massive 32 valve quad cam engine just rip down this airstrip was incredible.
Yeah, and here is the best part about all of these cars is that my car I got for 10 grand and it's in decent shape. That ZR1, 150,000 miles, still going strong, and Jordan got it for 10.5, and then what'd you pay for the C5?
Like 14, right? So if you want fun and sound and horsepower for the money, any of these cars are a great option. But I know which one is going to appreciate quicker than all three. It's got to be the red ZR1. As always, a huge thank you to Jordan for bringing his car out here and letting us have some fun with it, and we'll see you on the next video.
The most advanced production car on the planet is now called Corvette. Chevrolet is taking charge.